This episode of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show is brought to you by BarkBox. Healthy, delicious treats and high-quality toys for your dog delivered to your door every single month. Just click the link in the description below or scan the QR code on the screen right now for more information.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Oh, SummerSlam. Remember when watching SummerSlam used to be fun? That was really not a fun SummerSlam that we just sat through. It had a couple of good matches. It had a couple of really big returns, one more controversial than the other, and we'll talk about all of that. But overall, this show was a gigantic failure. It did nothing at all. We had numerous title changes tonight, and nothing at all seems to have changed one bit. There were a lot of very quick matches, and then there were also some long and boring matches. I don't know how they managed to pull that off, but this late time that we are all gathering together, it is after midnight here in New York City. I don't know what time it is where you guys are at, but I don't appreciate having to sit until after midnight to come out here and talk to you guys. This could have very easily been solved by the WWE doing two very important things. The first thing they should have did with SummerSlam is started at 7 o'clock. Start the pre-show at 6, start the show at 7. This way we don't really have to get anywhere near the midnight hour. Those kind of pay-per-views just... because you're getting close to midnight, at least here in the East Coast, and probably even more so on the other side of the pond to my friends in the UK who are watching this garbage over there. They have to stay up super late. It's not fair. It's unnecessary. And if you're going to try to cram 8 matches into a pay-per-view card, you got to start it a little bit early. If you didn't want to start it early and you needed to start it at 8 o'clock, then there were 2 matches that needed to be cut. Completely cut from this card, and that was Alexa and Eva, which served absolutely no purpose, and the same can be said for Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal. We didn't give 2 shits about these matches going into tonight's show, and coming out of it, there is nothing to get us even more involved or excited or invested in anything that they have going forward with either of these 2 storylines any more than we were going into SummerSlam. It's just awful. It's just completely unnecessary filler type of content. They even had the balls with this long-ass card going towards the 11 o'clock hour to throw in a Miz TV segment. Only they didn't call it a Miz TV segment. They just had the Miz and John Morrison come out to introduce some kind of super-duper Dripstick 9000 that nobody gives a shit about. The original Dripsticks, it's fucking stupid, it's childish, and it's ridiculous. Oh, but it's fun. No, it's not fun. It's stupid. It's 2 stupid characters making themselves look even more stupid by acting like a couple of 12-year-olds squirting everybody with water because, you know, John Morrison's got the drip. Get the fuck out of here with this shit. And then you got Xavier Woods coming out dressed up like Scott Hall with a toothpick in his mouth and an NWO color scheme and a giant tank on his back, and he comes out and he's going to shoot The Miz and John. Why are we watching this at 11 p.m. during a SummerSlam that is going to forever be known as the night where the WWE destroyed Bianca Belair? I was going to try to wait to even get into this, but this is going to be the number 1 story coming out of tonight. And let's get one thing straight. I am over the moon and completely happy to see Becky Lynch back in the women's division. It is something that the WWE needs. Star power, meaningful superstars for the women in that division. I don't mind it. It's fine that she came back. I don't even mind that she came back and inserted herself in a match with Bianca Belair to substitute for Sasha Banks, who was unable to make it to SummerSlam for controversial reasons, which we talked about on previous shows. I have no problem with any of that. The problem, I don't even have a problem with Becky beating Bianca. My problem stems from the fact that she beat Bianca probably quicker than Brock Lesnar beat Kofi Kingston, and that is unacceptable. How is that a plausible way to feature a talent that you have been on record saying could be the future of the company? A smart person wouldn't do that. You're not going to take somebody that you see a lot of quality in, somebody that you have high hopes for, and then feed them to anybody. I don't give a shit if it's Becky Lynch, if it's Charlotte Flair, if it could be anybody at all. Bianca Belair deserved better than that. Here's a woman that went out and main evented her night of WrestleMania with Sasha Banks, came out of the weekend with maybe the best match of the weekend, won a fucking ESPN award, and this is what she gets for SummerSlam? She gets a squash match? You know, up until this point, summer squash to me was just a fucking vegetable, but now summer squash is what they do to Bianca Belair at SummerSlam, which they should just change the name to Suck More Slam. Suck More Slam. Because this pay-per-view is going to suck more than every other pay-per-view you watch this year. It's a travesty. It really is unacceptable. It's fucked up. How does that help anybody? Let's just take a look at what they did. Let's analyze it a little bit deeper. Let's take it out of the equation whether or not you're a fan of Becky Lynch, and let's look at this from a fair standpoint, okay? What you're telling me is that Bianca Belair, the SmackDown Women's Champion, who just 2 nights ago beat 2 women in less than 5 minutes, has beaten Sasha Banks at WrestleMania, lost to a woman who has been gone for over a year, had a baby, came back, hasn't wrestled 1 match, hasn't been on TV for 30 seconds, and Bianca Belair couldn't last more than 10 seconds against this woman who is not even probably ready to be back in the ring yet? How does that make Bianca look? It makes her look even worse than ever. And then you heard Pat McAfee and Michael Cole try to fucking rationalize this with, oh, well, Bianca wasn't prepared for Becky Lynch. She was focused and she trained for a match with Sasha Banks. What is that bullshit? You are the champion. It doesn't matter who goes out there. You're going to be ready for a match. And it was disrespectful to us, the fans, as well. We were tuning in to see Bianca Belair in a WrestleMania rematch. A rematch of a match that everybody wants to see again because it was so fucking good the first time. But instead, you give us a summer squash. Totally disrespecting everything you've built with Bianca Belair, deflating it, and at the same time, all you did was take what could have been a great moment and the surprising return of Becky Lynch and turn it into the moment that deflated all of SummerSlam tonight. Nothing that followed that match had a chance until the end of the show, where we had the Universal Championship up for grabs. We had John Cena versus Roman Reigns, and I seen everybody going crazy about this shit, but I was fucking bored. I was bored. If you were watching that match, let me know in the comments, in the chat, were you bored during Cena and Reigns? Here are 2 guys that are out there, and it's like, let's hit a big move and then lay down in the ring for fucking 2 minutes. I wanted to get a message to Roman. I'm like, he's walking around the ring talking shit while John Cena's laying around. He's wasting time. He's farting around, doing nothing, talking shit. And I'm like, hello, tick-tock, motherfucker. Let's go. It's almost midnight here on the East Coast. We sat through enough of this shit. Can we see something? Thankfully, the match picked up towards the end. We got a couple of big spots. And then at the end of the day, Roman Reigns retained the championship. We knew that was going to be the case. There were a couple of really great, really convincing near falls towards the end where I thought maybe that they would give the win to Cena here, but it would kind of be stupid for them to have John Cena win for the 17th time when he's coming out wearing a shirt celebrating the fact that he's a 16-time champion. And while I did enjoy the design on his Super Mario Bros. 3 merchandise-themed t-shirt, I thought that was kind of a spoiler, didn't you? I mean, that's what I read into it. Why would he come out with a 16-time world champion shirt on and make it immediately irrelevant? But then again, WWE does irrelevant things. And then we had the return of the Beast Brock Lesnar, the second return of the night, probably the bigger of the two, if we're being honest. He shows up after Roman did away with John Cena, face to face in the ring. Paul Heyman's sitting there shitting bricks, and finally, a little past midnight, watching SummerSlam, things got a little bit interesting because the rest of the show, outside of Brock Lesnar and the controversial piece of shit decision that they made in the women's division tonight for Bianca Belair, nothing else was really that great. Unless you're counting entrances. And I don't watch wrestling just for entrances. However, tonight, I was very taken back by the entrance of Edge, who did pay homage coming out to the Brood theme song, came up through the Ring of Fire with the glasses and the smile and the whole thing, and they actually let the hook drop on the song, unlike what they did on Friday's SmackDown when they teased this a little bit, and I was fine with that entrance. I wasn't fine with the match that followed. Once again, I thought this match was just a little slow. I feel like Edge looked a little gassed really early on, and I'm not trying to take away anything from this match. I just couldn't get into it, and I don't know if that's based off the fact that this is the match to follow Bianca and Becky's moment, that maybe I was just so in a state of shock that I couldn't really wrap my head around what was going on or appreciate what we were seeing with Seth Rollins and Edge, which was, from what I mean, it was a good match, but just like with Cena and Reigns, I just felt bored with it at times. And of course, Edge would go on to win that match anyway. Seth Rollins came out dressed like a pirate. At least he came out dressed in a suit that was one color, that was not all white. That's the best thing I could say. I don't really remember much of the match. There were a couple of great spots. There was some intense spears going on. Edge at one point hit a glam slam, paying tribute to his wife, Beth Phoenix. There were a couple of key moments, but it just felt like the same shit we've been seeing. And I had to almost eat my words, because I was on here live telling you guys that this might be match of the night. And it might have been, but I guess I was just so out of it that I don't remember. For me, match of the night was Damian Priest and Sheamus for the United States Championship. I thought that was a great match. I love the fact that Damian Priest actually won the match and is now the new United States Champion. I thought he looked great tonight. I thought that match was very good. Sheamus continues to be one of the most consistent guys, putting on banger after banger after banger of a match, no matter who they throw him in there with. I've always been a huge fan of Sheamus, and I hope he's got bigger things in store. I wouldn't mind Sheamus showing up challenging Bobby Lashley now for the championship as we come off of SummerSlam. That's usually what you should do when you lose your mid-card title. You want to elevate yourself and go for the main event title, and that would be a great feud, I think. But they would have to turn Sheamus heel, babyface again, because Bobby Lashley is still very much a heel after what we've seen tonight. And this WWE Championship match for Bobby Lashley, it was what it needed to be, I guess. It just took way too long to get there, but I thought this was a fucking huge embarrassment. Bill Goldberg sucks. Bill Goldberg cannot wrestle. Bill Goldberg couldn't wrestle in 1998. He couldn't wrestle in 2002. He couldn't wrestle a few years ago when he came back the first time. And he's only getting older every time we see him. And he still cannot wrestle. He almost severely injured Bobby Lashley multiple times in this match because he just didn't turn his hips enough to get that slam over. There was one in particular moment where Bobby Lashley went up to the top rope and Goldberg met him there and then tossed him off the top rope and almost broke his goddamn neck. And now, obviously, the finish was a work, right? Goldberg had to play like he busted his leg, or maybe he actually did injure his leg so that they couldn't go through with the finish. At one point during the match, MVP hit his left kneecap with his cane, but towards the end of the night, I believe it was his right leg that was injured, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. All I know is it was embarrassing. It was fucking embarrassing. Goldberg was an embarrassment tonight. He wants to go out there and make his son proud and show the world about superhero. What kind of fucking superhero are you, Blank Man? You're an embarrassment, bro. Stay out of the ring. We don't need Bill Oldberg showing up, almost injuring our World Heavyweight Champion so he could get a quick payday and Vince can get a little hard on in the back because he thinks he's doing great things. Bringing Brock Lesnar back, I guess that's a good thing. It's the only counterpunch he could possibly throw to CM Punk showing up in AEW on Friday night. But I don't think it's going to tip the scales in any way. This show really sucked. This show really sucked. Right from the beginning, when the pre-show kicks off with Big E in a match with bum-ass Baron Corbin, and we all know Pat McAfee stole that name from me and this show because I called him bum-ass before anybody called him bum-ass. That's neither here nor there, but you guys know it's true. Thief bastard. I love his dance moves, but I think he's stealing my shit. Anyway, Big E beats Constable loser, bum-ass Baron dumbass and gets his Money in the Bank title. Money in the Bank Championship contract back. I thought that this meant by the end of the night, Big E was going to cash in. Boy, would I be wrong. But let's talk about this for a second. And I piggybacked this off the Goldberg thing on purpose. Because would it be interesting if tomorrow, or not tomorrow, it's Saturday. It feels like Sunday because it was pay-per-view. But Monday night on Raw, Oldberg's going to show up to get a little bit of vengeance on Bobby Lashley because he put Sunberg into, the Hurt Lock and he got little Gage and Goldberg was like, I'm going to kill you when it was over, right? So wouldn't it be interesting if Goldberg shows up and be like, I'm going to kill you, Bobby Lashley, and then gets in the ring, maybe hits a spear, beats him up a little bit, and then, boom, Big E comes out on Raw, cashes in the Money in the Bank, becoming the WWE Champion. Would you think that's a possibility? Would you like if that happened? Let me know if you think that's where the WWE might be going with this. Because why else would Bill Goldberg act like this is going to continue? Like this storyline is going to continue. What else is playing in the background? Is there waves rolling in the background, you guys? I don't know what this is over here. But let me lower that because I don't know what the fuck that is. Or maybe I put some music on. I don't know. We're live. Things happen when we're live. You guys know that. Thank you for joining us on Sledgehammer TV. Today I was so fucking hot about this pay-per-view that I didn't even do the correct intro. I didn't introduce myself. I didn't introduce the show. But for any of you guys just tuning in, my name is Nick Nightmare. Thank you for joining the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show live review of Summer Shit Slam. JD calls it Summer Scam, Summer Sham. We're going to call it Suck More Slam because it sucked more than anything in the world tonight. Definitely not on par with the rest of the feelings that we were getting this weekend as far as pro wrestling was concerned. If you guys joined us it was last night, right? I keep forgetting what day it is. If you joined us last night, you've seen my live reaction to CM Punk's return. I had tears in my eyes, man. Especially once CM Punk started crying, I welled up tears of joy and happiness. But tonight it was tears of pain and frustration and boredom. Because everything that happened tonight was pretty much useless. We had the Raw Tag Team Championships on the line. We crowned new Raw Tag Team Champions. RK Bro defeated AJ Styles and Omos. And I seen this coming. Everybody seen this coming. It was a nice little feel-good moment to kick off the show. I just felt like this match didn't really get started. Or just as it was starting to feel like it was going to get going, it suddenly ended with an RKO out of nowhere. So where do they go now with AJ and Omos? Are we going to get a series of fucking rematches on Monday Night Raw? Most likely. I doubt this is over. But I was happy for them. I thought it was a good way to start the show. And then it started to dip down. Because the second match was Alexa Bliss defeating Eva Marie, and there was all kinds of stupidity in this match. Doudrop refused to help. I would have refused to help as well. She really was useless on the outside, and Eva Marie was pissed about it. Eva Marie loses to Alexa Bliss. Doudrop announces, and the loser is Eva Marie, and Eva was all mad, and I'm supposed to care about this. This match was put on this show, but Finn Balor is sitting in the back somewhere in catering eating some craft services. Why? I don't need to see Eva Marie on my TV. It was old in 2017 and it's even older now. It's awful. The second championship to change hands, as we already talked about, the United States Championship. Damian Priest defeated Sheamus in probably my favorite match of the night. This was a very good match. I thought Priest looked great. Sheamus did a great job. Fantastic. 2 enthusiastic thumbs up. Hopefully they don't ruin it now. The sky's the limit for a guy like Damian Priest. He's got the size that Vince likes. He can speak. I just hope they stop giving him these shit scripts to read that make him sound so ridiculous. Because he doesn't sound natural when he's reading the WWE shit, which is probably why he throws his Spanish in there every once in a while. My man Noodles, the GOAT! Thank you for the super chat, brother. I appreciate all your support, you guys. Awesome. Look, see, I even got fancy graphics for you guys waiting, because I'm prepared. Thank you, brother. And congratulations to you on everything you're doing. I got my eye on you, and you keep pushing, you keep doing your thing on YouTube as well, man. Noodles is a long-time subscriber to this channel, just like many of you guys probably watching right now. I appreciate you all so very much. Fucking awesome. Thank you, bro. Dropping the hammer. Noodles. Check it out. And you guys know how to do it. You seen how he did it. You could do that and help support the show. You could also help support the show. Let's drop an ad break for a second by going to BarkBox. I have the link in the description below. You could buy yourself a box for your dog, man. It's pretty awesome. I got one for mine, and I happen to be able to choose the WWE themed stuff, so I got a bunch of wrestling toys for my wrestling buddy, my little fuzzy wrestling friend. You could do that too. Scan the QR code or check the link in the description below. Thank you for enduring that, and let's continue talking about SummerSlam. We had the SmackDown Tag Team Championships on the line. This was the first match on the night where a title didn't change hands. The Usos defeated Rey and Dominic. This was a rematch, of course. I don't have the rematch alert button set for this screen, so we're not going to click it, but you all know the drill. This was a rematch. It was a good match. The Usos are great. Rey and Dominic are okay. You know, Tiny Dad and Giant Baby Man Son came ever so close once again, but all I really want is for them to break up now. And I feel like they're still teasing it, because the story of the match is that Dominic really didn't do anything to help his dad, but I don't know. We'll see what's going on. For some reason, Rick Boogs had to come out and play the guitar with Shinsuke Nakamura so they can all dance. This was moments that could have been trimmed off of the fucking fat of the script so that we don't have to make this show go to 12 o'clock. There were a couple of shit segments tonight. Now, like, I have total respect for the guys that won the Olympics, the woman and the man that they brought out, but was it necessary? Was it really necessary? Couldn't they have saved that for Raw? Give me a fucking break. Just time wasted. However, congratulations to both of them, Tamira Mensah-Stock and Gabe Stevenson, who looked pretty impressive. Both of them, I'm sure, because they showed up tonight, have developmental contracts and will be in the WWE sooner than later. Becky Lynch, we ranted on this before. I don't want to really go off on it again, but maybe we will, because some of you guys might have missed it, and it really is the one thing on this night that was a roller coaster of emotions, up and down, one after the other, and WWE kind of knew what they were doing, and they crafted it almost perfectly, but then they fucked it up with the way they decided to finish it. They had Bianca come out, and she was really over with the crowd. And then the announcer guy was like, Sasha Banks cannot compete tonight. So she's going to be replaced with... And then Carmella comes out, and the wind in the crowd just immediately was sucked away. The crowd was just like, oh my God. But then Becky's music hit, and Becky comes out, and she took forever to come out, and she's soaking up the adulation of the crowd, and the pop was insane. And I was insane, and I thought this was going to be fucking great. And I immediately started to think, this is kind of going to upset me, because my first thought was that Bianca was going to lose because Becky was going to pin Carmella or some such nonsense like that. But it was way worse than even that. Becky Lynch beats the snot out of Carmella, throws her out of the match that she was put in, but now she's gone, and Becky's taken her place. She challenged Bianca. Bianca's like, let's do this, and then Bianca lost in about 30 seconds. Becky Lynch hits one move after being gone for over a year, popping out a tiny baby Seth Rollins person, and she comes back and beats Bianca Belair. Someone who's been in the ring, doing her thing, main eventing WrestleMania, winning ESPN awards, and getting absolutely no respect at the biggest party of the summer. How many ups and downs was that, right? Bianca's coming out for the match with Sasha. Sasha's not here. But we're still going to have a match. But it's with Carmella. Psych, it's with Becky Lynch. Oh, yeah. Boom, match is over. Fuck you, Bianca. Fuck you, all you Bellarians out there. That was like 3 or 4 dips in a span of like 3 minutes. Wrestling's supposed to be fun. Wrestling's supposed to generate emotions, but it's not supposed to leave you fucking furious. And how they can think that's not damaging to Bianca's persona going forward from here is beyond me. I don't even think AEW would be stupid enough to do something like that. Oh, we think this girl has potential. We think this girl has talent. Let's fucking squash her. It's SummerSlam. Time for a summer squash. Get the knife out and start chopping it up. We'll make some fucking ratatouille out of her as well. Is squash even an ingredient in ratatouille? I'm not really a fucking chef. I don't know. You guys could let me know. See how it makes me that mad, bro? It just, and brothers and sisters, it's just, it's irritating. Ooh. My God. You know what else is irritating? Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal being in a match, in a meaningless feud on this show. Drew McIntyre beats Jinder Mahal in less than 5 minutes. Time not well spent at SummerSlam. Fucking ridiculous. Who cares? Did you care? I didn't care. And then at the end of the match, Veer and Stanky come out there and almost get murdered again. Drew McIntyre goes and gets a sword. He's swinging it around. Attempted murder in the middle of a SummerSlam ring. Great. Things get infinitely worse because after this match, excuse me for 1 second, we have to have the Raw Women's Championship match. A triple threat. And not to be outdone by Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, I call her the inevitable for a reason, the female Thanos of the WWE Universe, showed up tonight and won this match. And you know what makes things even worse? Once again, you have this character, almost a shitty hero, Nikki ASSH. Okay? Obviously, WWE put all their eggs in this basket, right? Because they gave her the Women's Championship. But then in less than a month, you've had her constantly losing while she was the champion. And then in a triple threat match, where you could very easily have Charlotte Flair take the championship from Nikki by beating somebody else, which is the meaningless nightmare of professional wrestling for all the wrong reasons, Rhea Ripley. But instead they chose to have Nikki ASH be the ASS that loses this match to Charlotte Flair. We all knew this was coming. And you knew Charlotte was in the back. Oh, Becky's coming back? Becky's winning the title? I'm winning the title tonight too, right, Vince? Because we can't have Becky have a spotlight moment without linking it to Charlotte Flair somehow, right? So even though they're on two separate brands and two separate matches on this night, SummerSlam 2021, Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch both won a championship because they're forever linked at the fucking hip, even when they're on separate shows. This night, regardless how they planned it, should have been all about Becky. There's no reason to give Charlotte the fucking title tonight. There's no reason to leave it on Nikki either. I mean, we could all agree that Nikki was just a stagnant, stale paper champion. They gave it to her for this feel-good moment type of thing. And where did it go? Where'd they go with it? In the trash. They did nothing with her. They gave her a shitty superhero name. They gave her stupid superhero music. And they give her terrible scripts where she sounds like a 5-year-old who's trying to be a superhero instead of a grown-ass woman pretending to be a superhero. She's not playing this character the way like Gregory Helms played the Hurricane. This is just coming off as somebody walking around in a Halloween costume saying, I'm a super person. And it's fucking awful. I mean, I guess at least it was different, but it was just as cringy as everything else they do in the women's division. Bottom line is, there was no reason to leave her as the champion. There was no reason to have Rhea Ripley have the championship. So just give it back to Charlotte. There's nobody else for her to fight anyway. Hopefully the draft shakes things up in a way. And I can't deal with it anymore. It was inevitable. We knew it was coming. Snap! Just like Thanos. And Charlotte Flair is champion again, erasing everything that we've seen from the last time she was champion up until now. Edge defeated Seth Rollins. This match went about 20 minutes. It probably was better than I'm going to give it credit for. I was just immediately sucked kind of out of it for most of the night. The Women's Championship didn't help anything. They announced the attendance of 51,000 fans. Who cares? Good for them. I can't wait to be amongst the fans in Madison Square Garden when I go to Super SmackDown in this coming September. Then we had the stupid Miz and Morrison thing with Xavier Woods and the gun, and we're not going to talk about that again because I don't want to trigger my PTSD. Bobby Lashley with MVP defeats Bill Goldberg via referee stoppage. And then Roman Reigns retains the Universal Championship versus John Cena, only to be confronted by the Beast, Brock Lesnar. And that is SummerSlam in a nutshell. I didn't enjoy most of it. It was a real shitty show, and I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it not one bit. And I think I'm even more angry about it because I was coming into this pay-per-view with high expectations. I called a few of these matches dream matches, right? I said Roman versus John Cena is kind of a dream match. This is what I've said. I'm on the record saying this because my reasoning was this is a different version of Roman Reigns. This is also a different version of John Cena. So this should be a high quality match. And instead, I got two gigantic men who are terrible actors for the most part. I'll give John Cena a pass on the whole Peacemaker gimmick. But when he's John Cena in the WWE, he's at best. And we got these guys just laying around for 50% of the match that they were in. You know, rest hold, big spot, lay down. Roman gets up, yells at the crowd, does a big spot, lay down. It was the same thing over and over. Business did pick up towards the end, but we all knew Roman Reigns wasn't losing this match. John Cena is going to retreat back to Hollywood. He's going to make the Peacemaker HBO Max series, which I am definitely going to watch because the Suicide Squad was fucking great. He was one of my favorite parts about it. But other than that, what did you guys think about SummerSlam? Let me know in the comments and in the chat, and we are going to focus on over to the chat since the review is over. Let's do some interaction, some chat action. Let's scroll up here just a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see me scrolling in real time, but I'm going to look and see what you guys is talking about. WWE is terrible. They continue to be terrible. I don't think it'll ever be good. Well, let's just start down here. Everybody shoot your questions over to the chat box. Let me know what you guys thought. What did you think was the best moment of the night? You have a couple of decent moments to choose from. We got the Edge coming out with the whole Brood theme. I think that was a big moment of the night. Were you happy about Brock Lesnar's return? Were you happy about Becky Lynch until she beat Bianca Belair in a summer squash? You want some squash? I used to love squash. I'd eat a whole bunch of squash. But after this night, I don't ever want to see another squash again. I will tell you all to hit that like button right now. Thanks for reminding me of doing that. I don't like to tell you guys what to do, but hey, if you love this channel and you love what we do here, we got a new subscriber. See, I got graphics. I got stuff happening here, you guys. Let's do it. Let's make this a big scream. RCH Manga, thank you for joining Sledge Nation, the newest Sledgehead to come on board. Everybody hit that like button. Let's get this channel trending right now, baby, because nobody drops the hammer on the WWE the way we do here. Let's move that out of my face so much. Here we go. That's a better spot for it. Look, live interaction. When did we do this stuff? Not often enough. A lot of you guys coming out tonight. Thank you so much. We got a big turnout tonight compared to the last couple of live streams we did this weekend. But hey, it's SummerSlam. It's Saturday night. Who's got anything to do, right? Let's sit here. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. RK Bro winning and Edge coming out to the Brood theme were the highlights. I would have to agree. RK Bro, like I said, a feel-good moment. Probably the only decent angle going on Monday Night Raw, and they paid it off nicely. I feel bad for AJ being stuck with Omos, having to pretty much do the honors. But it'll be interesting to see where that goes from here. Hopefully it's not just an endless series of rematches between these two teams, because, you know, there are no other tag teams on Monday Night Raw. And Edge coming out with the Brood whole thing, it gave me kind of goosebumps. Not the same goosebumps I had last night when CM Punk showed back up, but, you know, it's very rare that the WWE makes me feel anything positive. So I was very appreciative of that whole Brood thing going on. What's next for the Usos? Probably the Street Profits or the Alpha Academy, but that would be heel on heel. But WWE don't give a shit about that right now. They seem to be pushing Otis as a single star, from being honest with it, and Chad Gable's just kind of off to the side. They make them a tag team when it's convenient, and they need a tag team to throw in there. What other team is there on SmackDown? There's the Usos, there's the Mysterios, and there's the Profits, right? Unless we have to wait until they do the draft. Maybe the draft will come sooner than later. For all I know, that might be the case. Poor Bianca is right, Tara. Sister Tara's always right on point with her analysis here in our Sledgehammer family. Don't get me started again. I'm sweating enough because it's hot as balls here, even though I'm in the middle of Hurricane Henri and I got all my furniture in the yard all up, in safe places because who the hell knows what's going to happen. It's hot as shit over here. And I'm sweating enough and probably raising my blood pressure every time I think about poor Bianca Belair. I was such a huge supporter of her. And I really thought this time, I really believed that they were going to do the right thing. Once she won at WrestleMania, I'm like, wow, they did the right thing. Maybe they're going to do it. And they didn't even get to SummerSlam before they fucking blew it. And it makes my blood boil, you guys. It really does. Isabella says, I honestly thought her return was amazing. It will give attention to the SmackDown Women's Division. I said that. I agree with that. The return was amazing. Becky Lynch being back in the division, going to be great for the division because it's kind of been shitty without her being around. With Ronda being gone, there's just been no meaning to the women's division, especially on Raw. But what they decided to do with the return is where the problem comes in. Becky's going to face Sasha. Probably. Why wouldn't they do that again? I hope they don't just write Bianca off. Like I said, they were giving you the lame excuse that Bianca wasn't ready, right? Because she trained so hard and prepared for Sasha. So maybe she gets a rematch at Extreme Rules. Or maybe they do it on SmackDown. Maybe Becky only came for the big pop and then has to go away and go back to be a mom instead of being the man. We don't know how it's going to turn out. But doing it at the expense of Bianca, as Maximus says here, was the wrong thing to do. It definitely was the Kofi treatment. Lamar says she got the Kofi treatment. That's immediately what I thought. And that's another moment that WWE put together that I shit on this show. That I hated every minute of it. Because of the same reason. Here you have Kofi Kingston, who established himself as a great champion, won the belt at WrestleMania, beating Daniel Bryan. I remember, I was there. Kofi Mania kicked off here in New York City, and then you killed it in like 7 seconds versus Brock Lesnar for no reason whatsoever. Terrible. Terrible decision making there. AJ hopefully will be free from the tag scene soon. I hope so. Like I was saying a little bit earlier, the separation from Omos is needed because that pairing didn't make too much sense to begin with. They won the titles. They lost the titles. It's run its course. We don't really need to see it much more. We do need more viable contenders for guys like Bobby Lashley. AJ Styles definitely fits that bill. Hopefully they do something like that. Who wouldn't like to see AJ versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship? I know I would. I liked Cena's Super Mario shirt. I thought it was cool too. I thought it was a nice little homage. He probably was a huge fan of that game, as I was growing up. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was great. I think Vince was pissed at Sasha and took it out on Bianca. I don't know what's going on with Sasha. I've heard things. I've read the dirt sheets. I've seen some of the reports. Sasha didn't show up to a live event. Bianca, I believe, also didn't show up to the same live event. But she's the champion, so, she still has to show up. And this was probably a punishment to both of those ladies for this. But it seems fucking petty. It seems petty and it seems damaging. Not just to your show and to what you're producing and the stories you're telling, but to the two females involved as well. They didn't come to a certain show You could have just gave him a fucking fine and moved on with it. You didn't have to take Sasha out of the mix and then punish Bianca with a squash match. If that's indeed what happened. And here we are talking about this again. It is what it is. It is what it is, you guys. Let's see what else we got going on here. I'm looking for some good questions. Fire those questions away, you guys. Did anyone hear Bray joined AEW? That's not official yet. Not official yet, but he is in talks from what I've read and from what I see. And I wouldn't mind Bray Wyatt in AEW right now. I think there's lots for him to do there. And especially if they give him creative control, we're going to see some really, really great stuff. So I hope that's a reality. I'm all for it. It'll give me another reason to watch AEW. As of right now, I'm only watching for one reason, and that reason is CM Punk. Because to be honest, after last night, if you were watching with me, you seen it happen. We were all excited. We were all happy about CM Punk, and then the rest of the show was just meh. I only had a vested interest in the tag match because a couple of those guys in that match are my friends from where I used to train at House of Glory. But when that tag match was over, I didn't even stick around for Moxley versus whoever the hell that other guy was in the main event. So I'm really only going to be watching to see my favorite guys like Rusev, like Punk, and then, you know, we'll see what happens. It may get better as time goes on, but for the most part, AEW's predominant style is not for me. It's just a little bit too much nonsense. I'm not a fan of the no-sell shit. You know, I'm not into that. But we'll see what happens. I'm sure CM Punk's going to be doing it because that's the style. But I have a feeling it's going to be good. And I'm going to watch it. It's definitely going to be better than this shit. That's for sure. Hope they don't do the power couple on SmackDown. Oh, wow. I didn't even think that. But they can. They can. Because Becky's too over. Becky's not going to... I don't know. Maybe they might. Oh, man. What a terrible idea that would be. And now we spoke it into existence. Is it going to be our fault if it happens? I doubt it. I doubt that they'll do that. Noodle says he's not watching Raw tomorrow. I don't blame you. You don't have to. That's why I'm here. I'll watch it. I'll take the bullet, and then you guys can come talk it out with me here on the channel as usual. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe so that you don't miss it every time we drop a video, as we are still going live here on Sledgehammer TV. Thank you all once again for coming out. I'm enjoying the interaction here in the chat room, as we already finished talking about SummerSlam. I don't want to have to really talk about it all too much again, but I will continue to take questions in the chat for another couple of minutes or so. Like I said, it's late for me. It is right now 1:02 a.m. where I'm sitting at. Let me know what time it is where you're at, because I'm just curious to see if we're all in the same time zone here. And while I'm at it, if you happen to be in my time zone, if you happen to live in the New York tri-state area, and you are going to be at SmackDown, or you are going to be at the AEW show at the Arthur Ashe Stadium, please reach out to me somewhere and let me know so maybe we can hang out or something before the show. It would be great to have the Sledge Nation contingent represented, maybe in a little bit of a tailgate party of some sort, or just a little get-together outside of Madison Square Garden. Maybe we can go hang out and grab a slice of pizza. So let me know if you're around, and we could maybe hook up and bring Sledge Nation in force to SmackDown or AEW. We got a lot of you guys in the midnight hour just about now, which I guess means you're somewhere in the middle of the country. North Carolina in the house. I love that you guys are coming to me from all over the world, all over the United States. Noodles is a Jersey boy. Are you happy that the Nets moved to Brooklyn, bro? Because I'm not. I'm a Knicks fan. I don't give a shit about the Nets. I don't want them in my city. You can have them back in Jersey, bro. Well, we're not here to talk about basketball. We're here to talk about SummerSlam, unfortunately. We see. Would have been better if Becky returned after Charlotte won. Didn't she give up the Raw Women's Championship? No, actually, she had to give up the SmackDown Women's Championship. Shows how much you haven't been watching. You know, you told me you haven't been watching, and I don't blame you, dude. But no, that may have happened, yes. But the last time Becky was around, she gave her title up to Asuka because she had a little baby Messiah in the oven. And baby Messiah probably going to have some bad taste. Going to be wearing multicolored diapers with, paint splats all over him. Or butterflies. Or marigolds. Or whatever it is Seth Rollins is going to decide to fucking wear this week. Definitely, bro. You let me know if you're there. I'm already there. I got my tickets. I'm already there. So you let me know, and I'll meet you up there, Noodles, man. Maximus is from Bama, Alabama. Fantastic. Oh, my God. All right, you guys. I'm running out of steam. I'm running out of things to say. I do want to thank Noodles again for the super chat. I want to thank all of you guys for showing up here tonight for our live SummerSlam review and reaction show. It was controversial. It had a couple of decent matches, but for the most part, it sucked. It was boring. It was long for no kind of reason, and I have no reason to care. I also have no reason to look forward to Monday Night Raw. I have no reason to look forward to SmackDown other than if Brock Lesnar, Viking Brock Lesnar, shows up. Don't you think he looked like the Viking? Any of you guys play Assassin's Creed Viking? Don't you think he looked like the main guy? I forgot the name now. I haven't played it in a while because I've been playing Mass Effect over and over for the last 2 months. But I thought Brock Lesnar looked like the Viking from Assassin's Creed. Anyway, that's the only reason I'm looking forward to SmackDown. I want to see what Paul Heyman's gonna do now that his beast is going to be looking to have a seat at the table. I guess I don't know. That should be somewhat interesting. But on the Raw side of things, who gives a shit, right? I mean, we could be grateful Goldberg didn't win. That's the best thing I can say about everything that happened on Raw. And I don't know. Maybe if you're really that into RK Bro. Which I'm not all that into it, but I get it. Maybe that'll be interesting. Otherwise, thank you all so very much once again for coming out to the show tonight. Let's go back to the main screen. Let's drop the poop hammer, which we didn't do. Everybody collectively make your best fart noise while the poop hammer comes down on SummerSlam. For the most part. For the majority of it, let's be honest. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the Team Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue, the Yeti microphone, the most important member of the team, as always, each and every one of you. Thank you all for your continued love and support. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, BarkBox. Link in the description below. You can go back and check the QR codes if you like. And also like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more great wrestling content where we bring the hammer down on pro wrestling like no other. That's going to do it, my friends. Check out everything else you've missed on the channel because we've been on fire all weekend. Monday night will be no different. I don't know if we're going to be doing live streams for the next couple of weeks, but I will be here bringing the hammer down for you like I always do. That's going to do it. We are out of here. We will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com.
Thanks, Vince. Oh.